time on Rise of the Runelords.
Augie was a real one.
Mm-hmm.
We got to the city. Augie made Shay really mad and really upset.
Augie made Shay cry.
And by extension, Shayless made Shay cry. You bitches. And then we went shopping.
Yes, and then you went shopping. That's a fairly accurate summation of where matters lie. Will be... Well, did anybody purchase anything that they want to share with the class?
Solace got a shitload of scrolls and a couple of wands down.
Shay just picked up leaf armor. She's not very good at buying things.
There it is. Sola also has a nifty new pearl of power.
Oh?
Yeah, it was her bonus item for buying 10 plus scrolls.
Hell yeah. How does that work in this system?
Essentially a double cast of something that I prepare at the start of the day.
Oh,
How's it
cool.
work in 5e?
I don't remember off the top of my head.
That's fine.
I think you get more spell slot. Yeah, you regained an expended spell slot.
It's sort of the same. Except for the pearl power, it has to be a specific spell that's already been cast.
Yeah, and it's just a 3rd level spell slot you can use for whatever.
Oh, and Pathfinder, they come in different tiers. So this is a 1st level spell slot. And then there's 2nd level, 3rd level, so on and so forth.
Oh. Neat.
Oh.
Yeah, that's about it. My notes finally loaded up. Yeah. Went to Neko's family house. Nothing too concerning there other than a lot of dust and old footprints that no longer are a problem. Don't worry about it, it's fine.
Understandable.
Yeah. Got some more info from Augie about the party and how Augie was willing to yes, this other person's +1. I am so willing to give it away even though I haven't asked them.
Augie always
God
keep
bless.
bargaining.
Yeah, God bless her. And I believe we are starting off with Shrap. Yeah. Cody isn't here for my note about Augie. And that's about it.
Alright. So, do we have an Iris yet?
There's a catch up.
That's okay. Yeah, she'll catch up. Alright. So, we're going to be starting matters back up again with Shrap. Shrap, you have had a very busy couple days, but we're joining you on the same day as we last saw the rest of the party. What have your edgy behaviors been over the past couple days as, well, you've had a lot to think about.
I think we should have clarified being Cody if a talk was done beforehand regarding that +1.
Well, we do not have Cody.
Nope, we don't.
So we're going to need to fix that one in post, I think.
Well, like I said, Shop would have spent his time with Theodora
Mm-hmm.
and just trying to convince her to get out of town for a while, at least while they're looking into the murders. Cooking up a little special perfume for Augie. Bit as a thank you, and also more incentive just to keep her mouth shut for a little bit.
A bribe?
A little bit.
Are you bribing Augustiana? With friendship? And perfume?
Yeah.
Well, you roll into Theodora's shop, as you usually do. Are you visiting a Shrap or are you visiting a Shayla's?
I think it's gonna be Shayla's.
Shayla's has always been very nondescript, and so as you wander through the streets of Magnamar, there isn't really a ton of attention thrown your way. You hear the various criers on the street corners shouting about this or that theory concerning the murders. There's an awful lot of them who seem to think that this is some sort of Sharni gang war. Although you, Shaylas, have done enough investigating to know that's probably not the case. It was where your mind went to first, as the Sharni are extremely active in Magnamar, and there are several different gangs. It's unlike the way it is back home, where there's really only one to worry about. But here, they make for a very convenient scapegoat for the happenings. And given the tension that's already present between, well, those who have colonized this land and those who were colonized, things have been a little high tension lately. The Varisian Council has had to issue a great deal of statements disavowing any violence committed in their supposed name, even though they strongly reassert that they have nothing to do with this. There have been extra patrols around the Varisian corners of town as well as a result. But there are other theories about the murders. A whole lot of people seem to think it's the work of a single serial killer, which would be impressive given the amount of people that have been killed and, well, the gory details that you've become privy to concerning the carvings that were left behind and the state of some of the bodies, as well as the timing on some of the attacks. You're fairly certain it isn't a single person. And of course, there's also conspiracy theories about government involvement, cults. You've heard damn near everything when it comes to these murders, but Shaylas, how do you handle hearing all of these rumors on the streets as you're walking to Theodora's cosmetics shop? What is the name of that gang?
Uh-huh.
The one that's at home?
Magnamar? It's the first one you mentioned.
Oh, I said that there are many gangs in Magnamar, and there's only one gang in Sandpoint. Are you asking for the one in Sandpoint?
Yes, please.
Okay. They are called the Broken Butterflies.
I guess with all the other information, she just takes it in stride. Just tries to keep an ear out for what she has been latching onto, which would have been the bankers and merchants, anyone who knew money.
No, you haven't heard anything too new on the streets today concerning those matters, at least, but there is something unusual afoot as you approach the shop. You can see from a distance away up the street, there's a throng of people gathered around outside of it, and that's unusual. Theodosia's shop is not in a very popular segment of town, that is to say, it's not along any of the main streets, it's along a side street. She does very brisk business because people come to her for custom work, and often for occasions where they don't want anyone to know necessarily that they're wearing makeup. She's very good at subtlety that way. So it's unusual to see a crowd of people, and all the more unusual to see there are guards outside. What do you do?
I imagine in this moment, her special hat is a beret.
Mm-hmm.
So she'll fidget with it. Maybe alter a feature or two, just slightly, before heading in.
So, as you approach the shop, you start to realize that the guards are thankfully not here for any sort of grim matter. They're not here keeping people away. In fact, if anything, they seem to be having a bit of a PR moment. You see one of the guards attending to various reporters and answering questions outside, but even more than this, notable to you, is the man that's currently inside the shop, whom you can see through the windows. He's fairly tall and broadly built, which is a bit surprising given that from his pointed ears you can tell he's an elf. But then again, you've met a couple buff elves in your time. There might have been one in Sandpoint. But even more notable than that are the rich red velvet robes that he wears that proclaim his station. This man is, you would know just from looking at the robes, one of the justices of Magnamar. A very high-ranking official. Though you're not sure which one yet. He hasn't turned around. He seems to be chatting with Theodora, though, who, while interested in what he has to say, also has the look of a woman who very much does not want to deal with all of this hubbub at her shop.
Shayla's right now is just gonna walk the aisles, maybe stop by the sock that she provided to Theodora a few months back. And maybe pick one of those up and take it to the counter, where hopefully someone else is working.
Well, it looks like it's just Theodora in today, and she's really pinned down by this guy. He's at the counter, and as you're perusing the aisles, you can hear their conversation. Do you listen in?
Absolutely, I do.
You hear him start going on. Well, it's very important that you keep an eye out and your wits about you. We've heard that this is an unfortunately ongoing epidemic. While we have our best men on the matter, we've yet to turn up anything that's conclusive. And so it was to minimize the amount of harm that might be done to our people, we are instituting a curfew. We do hope that won't be too much of a problem with your operating hours. I don't know how many people come to you after 8 for cosmetics. And Theodora just sighs. Well, you'd be surprised how many people do. That tends to be when no one's looking, so they send their servants out here and, well, we have a little chat about what they need, but I guess if it's keeping the city safe. She's rolling her eyes a little bit, but only a little bit. As she does, she catches yours, Shayless. And there's a bit of a knowing glance there. Oh, excuse me, I have a customer. Can I just ring her up real quick? The man turns and studies you for a moment, Shayless. You get a good look at him. And that's when you realize that you certainly do know this man. He's one of the most popular justices, known for being deeply involved in the town. Let me grab you an image here. His name is Justice Ironbriar. He sizes you up. Oh, well, don't let me get in the way of a little chat. Although we do have more to discuss. So, I hope you'll pardon me if I just wait over here. And Theodora shrugs. Oh, it's no skin off my back. Looks to you, Shayless. Did you find everything all right?
Shayless will put a hand on her chest and attempt the most... How do I put this? She'll frown and she'll look worried and she'll bat her eyelashes. I'm sorry, I couldn't help but overhear. Is there really a curfew being instituted? Is it that bad? This side of town?
Theodora gives a theatrical sigh. Well, I suppose it's got to be. I thought that there would have been more leads in the case by now, but, I guess not. Everybody was saying it was that white-haired woman for a while there. But nobody's seen her in a while. Ironbriar, standing aside, clears his throat. As I said, we have all of our best men on the case. We're investigating all leads, including that one. But you can rest assured that so long as you stay within the bounds of the curfew, there will be no harm coming to you or to your friend here. He gestures to Theodora, who just looks at him and narrows her eyes. We're just merchant and customer. Isn't that right?
I mean, I do stop by for the occasional gossip every now and then.
Oh, that's just part of commerce, isn't it?
The really good details come after 8, so please do let us know when this curfew is lifted.
I'm gonna be so full of gossip, I'll be about to burst. What am I gonna do? Ironbriar looks between the two of you and seems to be a little uncertain of what to make of this. He realizes that there's something going on here, but he doesn't know what. I'm certain you can take advantage of our very efficient postal system to write letters. Young ladies are still writing letters, aren't they?
Look to Theodora. That's a bit romantic now, isn't it? When's the last time you had someone write you a letter?
Oh, I think it must have been about a year and a half ago. I used to have this long distance thing going with a girl in Sandpoint, but I don't know. Maybe I'll have to revisit that.
Shayless will kirk a brow. and very much struggle. It's been that long now. Right, well, just this perfume, please.
Theodora looks down at the perfume. Just that one?
Well, I wanted to ask for more, but not with company here.
Ironbriar frowns a little bit. I'm simply trying to alert the populace as to what's going on. You can proceed as if I'm not here, I assure you.
Oh, I mean, is it Lord Justice, Mr. Justice?
Lord Justice, thank you.
Oh, Lord Justice, if you excuse me and pretend that you are not hearing what you're about to hear. And she'll lean in close to Theodora. I'm in need of some scrubs. And she'll adjust her down. If you know what I mean.
What are you asking for above table here?
Really just privacy.
Oh, okay, cool. Theodora will nod for a second, think, that kind of situation, huh? Alright, well, I have a booth upstairs, let's go. And she looks toward Ironbriar. I can trust you to look after a store for a second, can't I, Mr. Justice Man? Lord Justice? Well, I fancy I can man a shop for a little bit. Hopefully nobody asks me any questions about any of this. He looks around a little awkward, but stands in front of the counter anyway, as Theodora leads you upstairs.
Theo, it's getting pretty crazy here.
Oh, you're telling me. I don't remember the last time I had this many rush orders. She leads you upstairs, which, she does have a booth up here. It's one of the areas she uses for private consultation. And so she sits down and she's giving you a private. You can see as her. As she continues sing, she lets out another sigh. They're not simple orders either. To be honest with you, I was considering shutting the store for a couple days anyway, just so I could catch up on them. People get so finicky, don't they? Oh, whoop. Oh no, okay.
Okay, I think I'm back.
Oh, wait.
No,
Hi?
Nope. Oh, hi.
What? Can
Hello?
you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now I can hear you.
Hi?
Hi.
Can everybody hear me? Alright, what were you saying? What was the last thing you heard me say?
She does have a booth upstairs for private consultations.
And then the roboting began.
Yes. Sorry, my bad. I didn't realize I was roboting. Thank you for adding me. Yeah, so you're in her private consultation booth. She is acting as if she's giving you a private consultation. There's a screen drawn, and you know from previous experience that there's a dampening spell in effect here. It's hard to hear outside of the little screen curtain.
She's pretty fancy.
And she said that she has been dealing with a lot of rush orders lately. Very custom ones that are particular.
particular how?
Oh, there seems to be some sort of fancy ball coming up that everybody wants to be done up for. And I've been getting a weird amount of requests for, well, serpentine ingredients. I had somebody stop in here the other day and ask if there was any way I could use basilisk scales and eyeshadow. Have you ever heard of that?
Have I ever heard of that?
You have not ever heard of that.
I don't suppose you still have anything in stock?
Oh, it depends what's in stock. And who's asking. And
no.
for what reason? And she leans forward and touches the center of your nose.
I might be looking for a little bit of trouble later, and if people are asking for that, for the thing I think they're asking for, it won't help for me to have it either.
Theodora is usually pretty friendly with you, especially given the circumstances, but as you say this, you see a familiar hardening to her features. Her eyes narrow and she frowns as she studies you. Shayless.
Can't let this one go.
Can't or won't.
I can't. I can't. If there is a chance that I got her killed, the least I could do is do this for her, you know? I'm just asking for your help. And I'm also asking you to go through with what you said and close up shop for a few days. Maybe visit some family in...
Corvosa would be the nearest big city.
Yeah, thank you, in Corvus.
There's another pause as she studies you. Even though you came to know her face very well at one point, you're not quite sure what to make of the expression she's got on now. Something between deep empathy, worry, sadness, and maybe just a tiny, tiny little bit of pride. Right. I'm not going to be able to talk you out of this, am I?
If I made it to you, then Shepard didn't even...
Shepard didn't even what?
Shepard didn't even do that.
Yeah, I was worried you would say that. Green was never really your color, you know. She's referring to the color of the eyeshadow you requested.
Okay. Yeah, I'm more of a pink person.
I think I can work with pink. Is the whole getup going to be pink?
I think you know the answer to that.
I don't know why I asked. She smiles a small, soft smile. Well, I guess I can close up for a couple days, but I'll work on this order for you. Do you want me to leave it at work for you?
I'll swing by tonight so that way you don't... What's the word I'm looking for? Don't get caught out.
After curfew?
Yep.
And what about you?
Hey, Theo. I've been roaming these streets years now. They won't catch me.
I still don't know how nobody's managed to find you in a bright pink sequin-covered cowboy outfit, especially at night.
Pretty darn good at my job. Trained by the best.
Does Shepard need anything? Or is this just for you?
We have, a guest, I'll call it.
A guest?
Old friend. Used to work at the bar with us. If I could request some more of that, champagne rose perfume. Anything that seems flowery, frilly.
Shayless, the whole store is flowery and frilly.
And Shayless will scrunch up her nose. I'm talking like princess vibes.
Princess. Alright, I can manage that. I practically have starter kits for princesses. And she starts actually writing stuff down. And she then proceeds to ask you just a couple more questions about your wants and desires for your outfit, and Augie's outfit preferences as well. She's going to be making custom stuff for you. That takes the better part of half an hour, 45 minutes, I imagine, but if you have no other questions for her, at the end of it, she will take her piece of paper, fold it up, and lay it on the table, look at you. What do you want to bet he's still downstairs?
What do you want to bet he's looking for something extra?
Extra? What do you mean?
A bit more of your time. What do you mean, what do I mean?
Him?
Him, yes.
Ugh, don't be serious. Be serious, come on.
Theo, you're a looker.
I mean, obviously, but not for him.
He don't know that. And he is a Lord Justice guy.
Lord Justice Man guy.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Well, let's hope he hasn't ruined my reputation trying to sell lip glosses as lipsticks, or God help me, as facial serums.
Can you imagine? He seems like the type to be rubbing foot scrub on his face.
I wish he did. Could use a bit more cologne. And she will start heading downstairs, where Ironbriar really still is there. He has not left.
Before heading down, Shayless will just alter her looks a little bit, just to make it seem like she has makeup on now with the beret. And then she'll follow Theodora down.
You see Ironbriar just standing stock still with his hands behind his back, looking so very awkward behind this makeup counter. And as he looks to you, there's a visible sense of relief to him. Ah, ladies, are you finished with your scrubs?
And Shayless will beam. I think she did a wonderful job, don't you think? Hand
Yeah.
watching.
He studies you for a second, and there's a soft smile. Well, you do look quite a bit more radiant, I would say. Then Theodora, next to you, is just stifling a giggle. All right, pal. Calm down. She heads back to the counter. Thank you for watching for a little bit. Were there any sales? No. Despite my welcoming demeanor, we did not seem to have any additional customers. Unless you count the reporters who I sent away. She just stares at him. Did you tell them about our buy 3 get 1 sale? Did you do that? Because it would be really helpful for me if that was in the papers. He blinks. No, I did not do that. Of course not. Theodora sighs. Yeah, I bet you didn't. Alright, what else do we have to do here? He reaches into his cloak and he takes out a stack of posters, which all detail just the rules of the curfew, and he leaves them on the counter. I would appreciate if you could distribute these to your customers and display some in the store window. Theodora stares back at him. Yeah, the store window that I spent several hours setting up to be exactly right. That store window. That's where you want me to put these flyers that you didn't put any design work into. He just stares back at her. Yes, that's what I am asking you to do. She frowns. Well, I guess if Mr. Lawman is telling me to, I don't have very much say in the matter, do I? She looks pleadingly over to you, Shayla.
I can take a copy back home and do it up pretty. Will that work for you, Mr. Lawman?
So long as the information is still legible, I suppose so.
And Shayla will take a flyer, skim it over.
The flyer says pretty much what he's been saying. There's a curfew being instituted. Can't be out after 8 o'clock without a writ from either one of the justices or from the local guard, or with a guard accompaniment. And it does list all of the various guard factions in Magnamar that count for the purposes of this accompaniment. There's several.
And after she reads it, she'll look up at him. I hope to see you here again. I'm dying to hear more about this, white hair woman.
He frowns. I hope you understand that we don't share information about our ongoing investigations with, well, just anybody, no matter how charming.
Harmon. Shayla will grin and then look to Theo. You did an excellent job.
And she smiles back at you. Yeah, it's almost like I'm good at it or something. Ironbriar will look between the two of you again, sensing that there's something going on here, but he does not know what. And he will nod. Right, well, I've done my job then. I hope you ladies have a good evening, and an early one. He will depart.
Shayla will leave behind. Well, is 50 gold okay?
That's quite a lot.
That's Theo. And it's a rush order.
That's true. 50 gold will do.
Okay. Give her a little hug.
He all hugs you back. It's as it tends to be with her, one of those awkwardly long hugs where neither of you is quite sure when to end it.
I'll be back later, but stay safe. You know how to reach us, right?
She nods and she picks up a little pink playing card and waves it in your face a little bit. I've still got it.
I'm proud of you, you know. It's good to see you in the shop like this.
Well, people do like our perfumes, and I happen to have a pretty good supplier. Although, I hope that supplier doesn't do anything stupid that gets them killed.
Hopefully not, but, you know. Only time will tell.
That's not very reassuring, Shaylas.
Please, don't worry about me. I'm way too smart to get killed like that.
And this is why we broke up. Because I am always going to worry about you. So take care of yourself, okay?
I have friends with me. Actually, with me, so I promise I'll be fine.
She looks at you for a second as if studying to see if you're lying about this. And then nods. I'll see you around 9 o'clock today.
See you at 9.
She will nod and wave you off. Shaylas, how are you feeling after all this?
I feel like seeing Theo is good for Shaylas. Got a little bit more of a hop to her step. Almost as if things are gonna be alright.
Where do you go after seeing Theodora?
Well, one of the other things we had to do is clean up the Pony Club of everything we've been gathering so far.
Well, when you return to the Pink Pony Club, the usual suspects are there. Your midday drinkers and also people who are just hanging out. The bartender who is in early to tend to these people. A couple of the cleaning staff and back of house. But you don't see Shepard.
Shayla's unclipping her beret while she's walking through the club, looking around. And she'll stop by the bar. Where's the old lady at?
The shopkeep looks around for a second and then snaps his fingers. Oh, right! Yeah, she said she had a note for you. And he reaches down beneath the bar and he pulls out a note. It's in Shep's handwriting. And it is sealed with Shep's ring.
I don't like this.
Do you read it?
Yes, we are reading it.
It's a note from Shep that says she's stopping by to talk to an old contact who's resurfaced recently. She wants to make sure that they're going to be okay in the midst of everything that's going on. She says she'll be back by 9.
Definitely not anyone Shayla's or Shrap would have known about, right?
She doesn't specify the contact. She just says a contact.
Okay. Okay, in this case, the last thing we had to do was look into who specifically to talk to at the party. And I guess wait around for our party to show up.
Well, since Augie's not here, you're going to be waiting around for a little bit, my friend.
You know, you don't have to wait. You could just go and talk to them.
You could find them pretty easily if you wanted to.
I don't know what you're talking about. It's a huge city.
It's not like you have vigilante talents that would cut down on the amount of time you need to find information in this
No,
big
like,
city.
you just boasted about knowing this city and roaming it for years.
One thing's for sure, you guys don't belong here.
Didn't Augie mention where we were staying?
Yep.
Yeah, she did.
Charlie just
So
doesn't
there's
want to
not
join the
even-
party. See how it
solve
is.
a lot of this by just going and talking. You know, magical thinking right there.
I was under the assumption everyone is meeting up at the Pink Pony Club.
We were never told about the fucking Pink Pony Club.
Yeah, Augie didn't mention
Yeah.
it.
Huh?
No, she didn't.
No.
She kept her fucking mouth shut the entire time.
She didn't
Mhm.
say a fucking word.
Yeah, we don't know jack shit. So it's gonna have to be Shayless going out to the party, or Augie going to get Shayless, or bringing us to Shayless.
Which she is apparently loath to do. Because Shayla's told her not to.
Okay. Can we run it back a little bit? Because my understanding was Shayless's identity was to be kept secret.
Yes.
But the Pink Pony Club was a part of Augie's backstory as well. Like, it would have made sense for that part to be shared and, like, a common thing.
Yes, but Augie, to conceal your identity, gave them a completely different inn to meet up at.
Okay. What's the end?
Let me see here. It is on... Oh, I'm on a different map than all of you. Give me one moment to pull
I don't really remember. I think it was just insert other in, so I didn't write it down.
Okay. Alright. Right. I believe it was... Oh. Roll 20, don't do this to me. Roll 20, please. Okay.
No better than to beg roll 20. It's gonna do the exact opposite of what you want.
I know.
Don't show fear.
Alright. It was the courtesan and unicorn. Which is a completely different place. Because she was trying to keep your identity a secret. Would you like to retcon that? Or would you like to wait on that until we talk with Cody more?
We can wait on that.
Alright.
And I guess Strap will go to the courtesan and unicorn.
And wait for the rest of the party? Now, I'll swing the camera. I believe the other person who had a specific want was Matt.
We can move to the town outside if you want.
Do you want to do the Sabille stuff, or?
No, I'm fine either way.
Alright.
Matt, do this.
Count-
Can I vote for doing the Seville stuff? I like Seville.
If we're having to wait
like
for
to see
Cody
the
for some of
stuff.
this anyway, we might as well do some other shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give content
Yes.
with our favorite monk. Favorite Pathfinder monk, I must specify.
The other monks.
Yeah, there's
Trixie.
It's Trixie.
Is she your favorite?
I cannot choose favorites, unfortunately.
You just said favorite.
Oh yeah, my favorite Pathfinder monk, and my favorite D&D monk.
I see.
Alright, Matt. What is Sabine doing in town?
I mean, there's what she's trying to do and what she's actually doing.
Mm-hmm.
She's trying to go around to monasteries to meet up with other monks to get an idea of what their perspective on everything going on is, since they are relatively neutral, but would probably have a lot of people come by to talk about things, but wouldn't necessarily be part of any factionalism in town. What she's actually doing all the time is trying to learn more about Nuelia and Suta when they were in Magnemar.
Alright. So how are you approaching these monks?
She's throwing out challenges.
Alright.
She goes there, give me your biggest person, I will wrestle them.
So, you're dojo busting all across Magnemar then?
Yes.
Alright. Make me... Make me a diplomacy check. I'm open to other skills, if you would like. But we will determine how well you do in dojo busting via a series of grapple checks as well.
I was just about to say CMB.
Alright, yeah. You know what? I'll accept CMB. Give me 3 CMBs, and we'll call that your diplomacy. This is what they call strong arm diplomacy.
That's good.
I just need to not roll horrifically low, but who would ever? Oh yeah, that's a 1.
Oh my god.
Sabine.
Sabine!
That is another 1.
Oh, Sabine.
Is there a lucky feat that we can transfer over?
There's a couple. Yes, there's a couple.
She actually
If
trait
you work,
does
it
something
just
similar.
melt all of your dice.
Have you
Okay.
blessed them at all?
No, these are the cursed dice. These are Sabine's dice.
Melt them.
Charlie did get me a rosary. Maybe we should say a couple over them?
Rosary,
So
dunk them in some moon water. Something needs to be done.
So the high roll here is 25 total.
Alright. So, was that your last roll or your first roll?
That was my last.
So,
The first 2 are 1s, which is 12.
So, Sabine, the first monastery, well, the first dojo that you walk into, you're thinking, man, I've got this. There's no possible way that they can beat me here. These guys seem to be running some sort of backyard wrestling operation. But Sabine, being from Sandpoint, you don't know what they do in backyard wrestling. You were unprepared for the shards of glass and for the extremely not legal implements used as weapons throughout the course of the fight. You get a bit banged up as a result, and only at the end of it do you realize that this actually isn't a dojo at all. That's just the work. They're a work dojo. They're actually a wrestling promotion. You don't find out too much here, except maybe some underhanded wrestling techniques. Tell me about the second place Sabine goes to.
Hmm. Which nice landmarks we got here.
A nice what?
The nice landmarks we got here.
You've got quite a few landmarks, if you're interested in visiting those. You could always set up camp in front of one of them. There is, in fact, an arena, if you want to go there for a little bit.
Yeah, but she was the arena. She's actually got to win, so she's got to go fuck up somewhere first to make an ass of herself.
I will advise you that this area over here, let me focus ping it actually. Bam. This is the shitty part of town, as well as bam, this over here is the shitty part of town.
Is that the underbridge?
Yes.
Yeah, fuck it. She tried to go somewhere normal and ended up in a hardcore wrestling ring. Why not go somewhere abnormal and see if there's anything there?
So, Zabil, the next dojo that you find is an underground place. You know? I'm gonna say it's in the basement of a tavern, which seems to you to be normal, because you live above a fight ring in Kermaga. And so you're thinking to yourself, what's the worst that could happen? This is something I know. This is regular. I live this. I breathe this. I do it every day. But you fight zombies in that arena for, I mean, a prolonged period of time, but you're also allowed weapons, and you usually have Nualio with you. And you do not, in this case. And your opponents are not, in fact, zombies, but an entire ship worth of half-orcs. How does Sabile beef it?
So she's used to, in her own fighting ring, a little bit of grandstanding, giving the people a show. And so she assumes on some level that, like, that's the play here. Is you go and you talk a little shit, get people riled up, and they place bets and whatnot. So as she starts to get into character and start to grandstand, they jump her and beat her ass while she's trying to talk.
They do indeed come up on you while you are mid-promo, telling everybody, wait, Sabile, is Sabile a face or a heel?
That depends on who you ask.
Does she show up here trying to be a face or a heel?
She's the one dojo busting, so she's a heel.
So she's talking about how much she hates Magnamar, how this town is so shitty, and how she's never seen a place that gives her such terrible kebabs. And that's when the orcs take that personally and all enter rage at the same time. And so, Sabile, you leave with your skin intact, which sometimes that's saying a lot for you.
It is 1v1, that's not what happened. She says that as she leaves.
Where are you going for your third one? Are you going to seek out an actual Temple of Irori this time? Are you going to the arena? You actually rolled pretty well here, so this will be where you actually get information.
The arena is fun, but I don't know if she's necessarily going to get much information there. Then again, Rory monks just might tell her riddles or something.
If you do well enough in the arena, people might want to make Sabile action figures.
You're right. We go to the arena.
You go to the arena, and you talk to the bookie there, and, well, I mean, it takes a little bit of talking. He doesn't know you. But, Sabile, you realize you kind of know him. Because you see, the guy who is running the fighting matches here has a very familiar last name. His last name is Ward. This is, in fact, one of Ismark's dwarven uncles. So, you are able to get into the fight if you would like. Although, are you going to mention anything about Ismark to this man?
You know, that is a lot to explain. but also she wouldn't want to be going around without knowing a family member had died, so she's going to tell him.
Oh, you tell him. And they weren't super close. Ismark had some quarrels with this side of his family, so he's not totally bereft at the news. But you can see that does hit him hard. Do you mention how he died?
Absolutely not.
That is the smart play.
She mentions he had a wonderful funeral where everyone gave nice gifts and were very cheery, as Shalom would have wanted.
This dwarf looks at you as if you've grown a second head. Really? That guy?
Look, I ain't got an answer for him. Here's blood.
He just puffs at that. Well, it's a good thing he went to rest decently. I'll give you, well, an impressive match if you should win it. And Sabine, he sets you up to fight a hobgoblin, which, as you recall, you've already fought.
Yeah, I know the quickest way to a hobgoblin's heart.
How do you fight this gladiator hobgoblin? What is your approach? Do you come in here trying to be the heel again?
What's
This is
hobgoblin? What's his setup here?
the hobgoblin is set up as a fearsome raider of all of the nearby villages who has been brought in against his will and forced to fight for his freedom. He's actually kind of just a regular guy for a hobgoblin. You got to talk to him a bit before you went out on stage.
Yeah, I mean, Sabiels has no hard feelings then, but given the last hobgoblin, there's little hard feelings. I might try to press this guy. If you kill any elves, collect their ears.
Do you ask him that?
No.
Okay.
But the question kind of hangs in the air, like, is this guy an elf killer? Is that what you hobgoblins do? That's funny to you?
You don't seem to get elf killer vibes. When you are chatting with him, he has his own little, like, warm-up area backstage, and he has, like, little stuffed animals that his kids have given him there. They're little stuffed owlbears.
Can't believe I'm gonna kill this guy in front of them. I mean, if he's the raider, she's gotta be the hero here.
Okay, what's your angle? How do you introduce yourself to the crowd?
So, pre-associating with what she knows, comes in, declares this guy an elf killer, says that she's come for revenge. She's traveled far across the land to avenge the families of elves that he's stolen the ears of.
Okay. I don't want to look up the performance combat rules. Do you know them off the top of your head?
Yes.
Of course you do. Could you make me a performance combat check, please? You already have the 20 to go off of, so you're doing pretty hard. This is just to see if the crowd pops.
Alright, so I'm gonna have to kind of abbreviate things a little. But, let me see what Sabiel's got here. So it's based on BAB, but also perform. Performance combat's a little weird.
I thought it was based on perform, but it's a weird one.
It's both perform or BAB and perform. It is strange. All right, so that's a 27.
Sabine, You introduce yourself, you give this backstory of all of the fallen elves who have come before, who have met their end at this hobgoblin's terrible hands. They've been torn apart. You allege that the man wears a necklace of elf ears, and the crowd is too far away to know whether or not that's true. And so they go crazy. You see a whole bunch of them start chanting, "Get him! Get him! Get him! Get him!" And you do see some elves in the crowd, not many. There's like maybe a dozen in this crowd of several hundred, but they are losing their minds by elven standards, which means they're clapping kind of vigorously.
My people.
How are you taking this man out in front of his legion of adoring fans? And possibly his family?
Are they in the stands holding the owlbear plushies?
They are in the stands holding the owlbear plushies. His wife is a gnome.
So Sabine it's gonna give the crowd what they want. And so walks up, takes off her glasses, throws them at him, show off the nice elf eyes for revenge for elves, and steps toward him. Initially goes for a sort of test of strength thing, like, grip on grip, how strong are you? Immediately picks him up and slams him onto the ground, and then picks him up and slams him down again. Just absolutely no mercy, no pretending, no gonna give him a good fight. She just absolutely destroys this man in front of his family.
He is a surprisingly good sport about it while it's happening. However, in the clinch, you do hear him go, "Oh, come on, can't I get... Let me get a hit in, just one. My kid's right there."
Go ahead, then. Get it in.
He's going to make a single attack, and let's see how he does.
So he will probably die.
What?
I kind of like this guy.
Steve. Oh, Steve the Hobgoblin. What a guy.
Sabine takes pity and runs into his sword a little.
His swing goes wild. Nowhere near you. This is the worst sell you've ever seen in your life. And you realize that that's because in one of the slams that you enacted upon this man, you rang his bell. And so his sense of balance is completely thrown. And even though he tries to get a swing in on you, all he does is end up selling you harder. So the crowd pops off again.
Yeah, there might not be coming back from this for this guy.
I don't know if there is. You might have ruined this guy's career. He might have to come back with a new gimmick. They're gonna call him Hobdust.
But Mysterious Dust is Sabine's gimmick.
That's true. So, how do you finish him?
You can murder him in front of his family?
Yes.
Sabine deadlifts this guy over her head and just kind of displays him to the crowd, walks around a bit, shows him to all four corners, and then just drops him on the ground.
The crowd loses their minds. In fact, you hear more than one call in Elvish for you to take his ears. Do you?
Getting ears off with your bare hands is pretty uncomfortable.
It certainly is.
It's hard to get a grip on the ears.
They're very slippery, these ears, as well.
No, he can keep his ears as long as he doesn't have any elf ears. If he dropped any of those on his way down, then you're gonna have to have words.
Steve did not drop any on the way down. No.
Steve can live this day to go back to his family and discuss what his new job will be.
So, after you've decimated Steve, poor Steve, you've effectively impressed everyone in this stadium. So you can ask any of them for advice. And as you leave the dressing room, you are mobbed by people who thought that was the sickest shit they've ever seen.
That's because it was.
You have a crowd of mostly half-elves, but also some humans and even a tiefling who are mobbing you outside, asking you for autographs.
You'll sign some autographs. Pop the guns with some people. The angle she's going to take is she's going to start bragging that she can handle whoever is doing these murders, and that she's going to personally wrestle them into submission, in the hopes that somebody will be like, "Oh shit, she might actually do it. Here's what I think the murderer is."
It's the tiefling that you get it out of, because as you say that, her eyes go a little wide, and this is an Oni spawn tiefling, so she's fairly big, about as tall as you are, though not as visibly strong. Maybe a little underdeveloped for an Oni spawn tiefling. But nevertheless, she is not the sort of person who would be easily scared, and yet she looks a little frightened when you say that. And she leans in a little closer to you and goes, I don't know if I would go bragging about that. You're really strong, but I think these guys don't play fair.
Oh yeah, they couldn't beat me in a fair fight. I don't know how to fight dirty.
I don't know if you fight this dirty.
Well, sounds like you know something. Why don't you tell me?
She looks around and she gestures for you to come speak with her a little bit far from the rest of the crowd.
Gotta extricate herself from the crowd. Say she's got some very urgent business to take care of. We'll be back at 6 o'clock to sign more autographs.
You receive several admonitions for leaving, and also several attempts to make you promise.
She pinky swears with the smallest child.
It's a very small child. It's a halfling child.
Jesus Christ. Where is the child? I don't see it.
But you step away, and you're talking to this shy Oni spawn who has a pair of glasses that keep sliding down her nose. They don't seem to fit her all that well. And she looks around, leans in toward you. Do you... I don't want to just assume, do you speak Mankind?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, that's such a relief. And she will switch to Minkayan. Nobody here speaks Minkayan. There's, after the Kaijitsu's left, there's almost none of us around, really.
Funny thing, I happen to know a few Kaijitsus.
You do? Are you talking about Ameko? Or, I hope it's Ameko. I've seen her brother around, and he's kind of scary.
My brother, you say? I grew up with a Mako, but she didn't tell me too much about her brother.
I mean, I wouldn't. If he was my brother, he was always causing trouble here, hanging out with bad crowds. I never saw him without a fight following in his wake somewhere. And when he wasn't fighting, he was trying to rope people into schemes.
Bad crowd, you say?
That's actually what I wanted to tell you about. There's a cult in this town. People don't like to talk about it, but I've seen them. They tried to recruit me because because I look like this. She gestures to herself.
You look great. What's the problem?
Oh, everybody thinks I'm, a fighter and everything, but I go to Bard College.
What'd you play?
The flute.
Yeah. The cult had no idea what they were looking at.
She laughs softly. Yeah, so, it was actually really scary because when they approached me, I thought they were other tieflings, but they weren't. There's something else. They kept talking about the skin saw man.
And what did they say about this man?
They said that if we made enough sacrifices to Norgrover, we could summon the skin saw man, and he would cut out all of the evils of the world. But I've heard enough about Norgrover to know I don't want to deal with any of that.
You have any idea who this Grover guy is?
She blinks at you. You haven't heard of him?
I'm new in town.
Sabiel, go ahead and make me a knowledge religion roll.
Worst that could happen. That is a 14.
14 is enough to know that there is a god named Norgrover, but not to know what he's the god of. He likes to keep his identity very, very secret, so it's hard to learn anything about him. And that occurs to you just as this nerdy Oni girl is staring at you in confusion.
Oh, right, that guy. Don't really know too much about him, but the name is familiar.
Oh, he doesn't want good people to know very much about him. He's the Lord of Murder.
Nice guy, then.
Oh, we don't know whether or not he's nice because he's wiped all of the records of his existence prior to the test of the Starstone out of existence. So we don't really know, but I don't want to serve him.
Sure are smart, aren't you?
I told you I'm in college.
Yeah, not everybody in college is as smart as you.
Wide-eyed look. You really think so?
Yeah, well, that's what I say.
I don't know. Because you're grateful I told you something?
Well, yeah, that too, but oh my god, I call you smart to do that.
She looks down and she's a little pink, even though she's red. And looks back up at you. Well, thank you. The Bard College does performances by students every week if you want to check us out sometime. No pressure or anything, but I just hope you stay away from those people. I don't think you should try to fight them.
I'll stop by after I deal with them. That way I can tell you just how easily I beat them.
She blinks and then laughs. Oh, you sure are confident, aren't you?
Yeah. That always says, little cocky little shit.
Well, you're not very little.
Not now. I'll fix that.
She laughs. Yeah, I guess I did too. It's nice to meet you. My name is Himiko.
Nice to meet you too, Himiko. Name's Sabil, which you may have heard.
Once or twice.
So if I was looking to find these guys, where would I go?
Oh, I don't know. They found me while I was out, just walking home from a performance. I was out in the street and I took a turn and there they were. They called me over. Like I said, I thought they were tieflings, so I went.
So I'm guessing, and no offense, but they have some devilish features.
Oh, no offense taken. I mean, I'm an Oni, so I mean, people make that mistake a lot. They tend to confuse different kinds of tieflings. Your devil spawn for your chitons. I don't know why people do it. Chitons are really distinctive, but if anything, they looked more like chitons.
I have some best friends with tieflings.
Really?
Yeah, I think you get along with them. One of them's a hellspawn.
Oh, a hellspawn? But you seem really free-spirited.
She's, less so.
There's a knowing nod. Yeah, that would be my estimation. They're welcome to come too, if they want.
As Southern can bring everyone over. So, they came to you. What would I want to look like if I wanted the cultists of the god of murder to come look me up?
I don't think you would need to change the way you look at all. We're probably going to try and track you down at some point. But there's a curfew starting up soon, so being out at night might be dangerous. The guards might find you.
Anyone's going to be out past curfew. Be cultists, I imagine. We got plenty of dark things to get up to.
Could you repeat that for me one more time?
They got plenty of dark things to get up to.
Mm-hmm. She nods. I really would steer clear.
I'm sorry, no matter how many times you tell me, I'm gonna do it.
There's a sad look. But if you get hurt, you can't perform again.
Guess I gotta not get hurt then.
There's a sigh. Well, you do seem really strong.
I am.
If you find anything out, you can tell some of the guards. I heard Justice Ironbriar is looking into this.
Who?
Oh, right, you're new in town. Well, he's the longest serving member of the Justices of McNamara. He's kind of in charge of a lot of things. I mean, he does everything the Lord Mayor doesn't do, which is a lot of things.
I think that's just how it always goes.
I don't know how it goes other places. You know, McNamara was established to escape some of the bribery and corruption of Corvosa, but some days I think all we did was improve on their system.
That bad, huh?
Oh, you should see the Lord Mayor.
Maybe I can deal with him after the call.
Oh, you wouldn't have any trouble fighting him.
Kind of disappointing. I don't like easy fights.
You can continue chatting with her. You do get some more details through the course of chatting. The Lord Mayor, whose name is so let me pull it up for you. Right. The current mayor of McNamara is named Haldmir Grobaris. Which I will get you that name because it is a very strange one. It seems like they just hit the random name generator a few times. But this is the man's name. You find out that Lord Mayor Grobaris tends to spend more of his time in the various gambling halls of McNamara than doing anything productive. He's extremely ostentatious, of course, and likes to dress the part of a Lord Mayor, and seems to have a very good relationship with a lot of the merchants in town, but doesn't seem to be enforcing very many laws. This guy's a bit of, a libertarian that way. Real believer in the free market.
My god, what a monster.
He is deeply unpopular among the populace, but the, middle class seem to love him and above.
Fucking bourgeoisie.
Exactly. I wasn't going to say. Do you have any further questions? Or anything else you would like to look into?
I mean, she's going to continue self-destructly spiral into learning more about Nuali and Suto, but as for that, she's probably going to keep trying to establish a reputation for being good at murder and see if she can attract the attention of the cult of murder.
Well, as you try to establish that reputation, you can go ahead and roll me a perception check.
That is a 29.
29. As I imagined you start heading to some of the seedier parts of town, you spot a pair of wanted posters on a tavern wall. Very familiar ones. You see the older Suto and the older Nualia staring back at you, scowling faces. Suto's approximation borders on offensive caricature. Nualia's is more accurate, if only because it seems the artist was obsessed with her.
What's that like?
I don't know, what is that like?
I don't know, you'd have to ask someone else.
Do you look at the posters?
She tears down the posters.
Do you read them before you look at them?
What?
Do you read them before you tear them down? Sorry.
Yes.
Right. So, both of them are wanted for murder. Nualia has a few different charges than Suto does. They share murder, though. They also share conspiracy. Nualia, though, has a laundry list of charges, including assault and battery. There's burglary listed in there. There's a few altercations mentioned with various guard companies. It mentions that she's extremely violent and dangerous, and if she is spotted, the local guard should be alerted, preferably the order of the nail it specifies, as soon as possible. They say that she is wanted on suspicion of connection with the murders going on in Magnamar right now. Suto has murder listed as a charge, but he also has quite a few more larceny charges listed there. Fraud, more white-collar crimes. There's also some smuggling charges on there. He's listed as a co-conspirator of Nualia's.
How old are these wanted posters?
Not that old. Maybe 1 or 2 months.
Hmm. You know, just gonna turn Nualia's down and leave Suto's. Fuck that guy.
You tear down Nualia's poster. Do you keep it intact?
Yes.
I had the feeling that you would say that. Even though this is, of course, the Nualia with much harder eyes, much more intensity than the one you've come to know in a quite familiar fashion. This face doesn't look like it's ever smiled at all. As you study the poster, you realize that the artist colored her eyes in green.
Yeah, that's familiar.
You know the shade of green.
That shade of green.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Are there any specific crimes mentioned in terms of a particular person?
There's lots of taverns mentioned for the assault charges in specific. There's also a manslaughter charge listed there as well. You can find listed the Fancy Reef Claw among them, and the Matador's Lodge. The murder charge, the first of them, is listed as the Fish Tank. All of these are in Low Cleft.
Yeah, she's gonna tell herself that this is research for the murders. I'm gonna go scope those places out.
As you go scope those places out, you're greeted with far more wanted posters in this area. Dozens of them, as a matter of fact. And like Shayla's earlier, you hear an awful lot of people who are blaming the Skin Song murders on Nualia. How do you react to that?
Still, you know, she's fine. She's fine. Probably the worst part of it is she knows that Nualia could have done that, possibly would have done that.
You know that she was planning to do worse than that. And that thought is no comfort at all to you as you descend into the lower parts of the city. And as you do, if you're alright with it, we'll swing the camera back over to the Foxglove Manor crew. Yeah?
Yep.
So, Foxglove Manor crew. Who I'm just assuming the rest of you want to go to the townhouse. Question mark.
Sorry, need to re-engage my brain out of podcast and no taker mode.
Okay. 5-minute break and then I can check back in with you guys? Yeah?
Oh, I just need a second
Oh, okay.
to finish up my notes real quick.
Because I'm assuming there's not some magic Samsar in, like, fucking ambassador place here.
There's not a... You could find some Samsarans if you really tried. It would take forever.
Could you
Not
type
if
out
she,
the name of the god that was brought up?
Oh, Norgrover. Let me... Here you
Yes, please. I've been sounding it out. Thank you. And can I get the...
Actually, Norgrover. Sorry, I fucked that up. It's even dumber than Norgrover.
Can we rename him?
This is his holy symbol here.
So it's Norgor?
Yes. Gorber.
Okay. Copy, paste.
What is depicted in this holy symbol?
Oh, it's his mask.
I was going to ask, it doesn't look like one.
Yeah, so Norgrover is one of the 3 gods who have passed the test of the Starstone in order to become gods. The test of the Starstone is something that's in Absalom, which is the biggest city in the Inner Sea. And nobody really knows what happens in there, but a lot of people go in there trying to become gods. It's open to anybody who wants to take the test, but only 3 people have ever come out of it. One of them is Caden Kalian, who was drunk and did it as an A. Lamau YOLO situation, and he has no memory of what he did at all. The other would be Iamade, who is kind of the paladin god of the setting. She was personally mentored for this by Aradin, who created the Test of the Starstone. And then there's this guy, who immediately upon ascending to godhood erased every trace of his former life in existence. It is, in fact, anathema to even speculate as to who he was before he became a god to his cultists.
Huh.
The edgelord of edgelords.
Oh, yes.
Edgiest of lord. Another question. What is a cute tiefling girl's name? How do you spell it?
Himiko. Himiko.
Himiko. Thank you.
Yes.
I love her.
I'm glad.
She's great.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the Sandpoint tieflings are going to adopt her.
Please. I
Sabille,
just love. Yeah, bro. The times
bring her.
that fucking this random fucking stray in a shade. But yes, Sabille, introduce tieflings, please.
Look, Spiel adopts all tieflings.
Gib. Gonna collect the whole set.
We need more.
Hmm.
I mean, you guys gotta go to the concert after I suplex McGrover.
I guess the only thing that Solo would do in these extra 3 days, beyond just go to the Fox Governor, I get, she would take on the responsibility of passing along a letter from Ginny to whomever Ginny deemed would be the family members that would need to be told of Ismark's death.
So Ismark has two brothers who are staying in McNamara right now, and one of them also attends the Bard College. He is the younger of the two, but also the more responsible. So you can stop by and give him the letter. And when you drop it off, like the dwarf mentioned earlier, he's kind of surprised to hear that Ismark was so beloved. Seems to have a very conflicted view of things, and as you give him the letter, he stumbles a little and sits back down in his kind of shitty dorm, reads it a few times, and he seems to be in that state between upset and sad over it. Not necessarily upset about the death, which is a little surprising, but about his own feelings. There's a lot that he had wanted to say to Ismark, and that he won't be able to now.
Solo, I don't imagine she would press him in any way, but she would offer both, like, tell him that she's staying in town at the Kaijutsu estate for probably a week or two before heading back to Sandpoint, and give him the address for her shop, Sandpoint, if he feels the need to talk.
As you give him the address, he takes it gratefully, and he does take the time to make sure that you've got something to eat and something to drink, even though he doesn't have a ton to offer himself. This is the fantasy equivalent of a ramen noodles and Monster Zero household.
I imagine she has some, like, trick on how to cook ramen noodles in a different way that she has picked up at some point in some life. She will teach him.
You've changed this man's entire life. You're like, okay, so what you do is you only use like half of the water and like a third of the flavor packet, and then you want to like move them over to the skillet and make stir-fried noodles? And he didn't even know that was a possibility. He thanks you for your time. As he studies you, he says, well, I guess if Ismark found family like you, he did something right.
There's a smile. And I think Ginny is even better. But he did find his place in Sandpoint. I don't know what he did here, but that was home for him.
I sure hope he didn't walk around breaking anybody's instruments over there.
Not that I know of. Though, I suppose if somebody was playing out of tune enough, perhaps.
He sighs and mumbles under his breath, I never play out of tune. promises to come visit, but he needs some time to sort through his feelings. You get the sense that there was a lot of trouble in the Ward household when he was younger. And sometimes the fault of the parents, but not always.
Yeah, aside from that, I can't think of anything else Zula can do.
No worries. So, for the townhouse, I've circled it up on the map here. I will focus ping it. Bam.
Ah, I see.
It's all the fuck the way up here.
Right.
Not too far, actually, from the arena. What sort of approach are you guys taking to this place? Are you walking straight up to it? Are you staking the place out? Are you asking around about it?
Well,
Ride and conquer?
I mean, we can get an aerial view.
That's true.
Go, John. Fly, John, fly.
Well, for an aerial view, I will copy paste one of the other maps, not the one we're using.
One of the shitty maps.
Yes, one of the shitty maps.
Yeah.
Actually, somebody made this map in Steam, and it's kind of perfect for this. Actually, so
Yo?
give me a second here.
Yeah. If you guys want to, like, ask around about it, we can. But someone else is going to have to lead that.
I think Solo only cares if there's like somebody else there, or if, as far as she's aware, Aldern's the only Foxman. Or no, there was a younger sibling, wasn't there?
Yes, there were a couple of there was a younger sibling who made it out as well. So
Mm-hmm.
there are potentially other foxgloves around,
Yeah.
although they would be significantly younger.
So I'm assuming this is 3 floors, yes?
Yes. The one on the right there is the bottom floor, so the other two would be stacked on top of that. I
Okay.
believe that bottom one there is the second floor, and then the other one is the third floor, but I could be wrong. Anyway, you
Okay.
see that it's a fairly nice little townhouse. It's got a backyard. It's got a cabin, even, toward the back of it, which is very impressive. And with John surveying it, when do you have John survey the place? What time of day?
Probably a little after lunchtime, because she wants to know if there's people there. And that would be to her when there might be people around.
A little after lunchtime, he circles around and he tells you he doesn't see anybody there, but he did notice all the windows are boarded up.
So she does that. To Zola means there's nobody going in and out, so she's not worried about staking it out.
Mez, Shayadris, what are your thoughts?
Well, yeah.
Go ahead.
Other than just either staking it out for like a day or just fucking walking up to it. Those are my two thoughts.
I think staking it out a little bit, or at least like, I assume there's like gates or something, right?
Yeah,
Or like fence. Kind of
there's a
thing.
fence enclosing the back area with the yard and the cabin.
Mm-hmm.
Is it like super tall?
It's not super tall. It's about like 6 feet.
So if someone gets on someone's shoulder,
Yeah.
kind of thing. Oh. Does it? Are there? You said it's a fence, right?
Mm-hmm. It's a very fancy fence.
Like the ones with holes in it that you can look through?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. I mean, let's, I guess, survey around a bit, around the... If there's anything weird even just in the yard? I mean, does it look like it's been people here at all?
They're only a
Any-
perception check.
Okay.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
gonna fucking follow Z's idea. Have a bird.
You also have a bird.
Also
you
have
just
bird.
can't talk to your bird.
Yeah, can't talk to my bird, but he is trained. He does know seek.
You can talk to him, he just doesn't talk back.
Yeah. Which is, animal moves to an area and looks around for anything that is obviously alive or animate. Is the seek skill he has.
So, Mez, with a 15 perception, you don't see anything while you're studying the place. At least there's no signs of life that you can tell. It just seems to be a perfectly nice, if maybe abandoned townhouse. I will note that this is in the most expensive part of town. This area over here actually overlooks the rest of Magnamar, so the views are spectacular. You can see all of the statues that are atop the Irespan in perfect detail from here, and when the waves crash against the cliffs, there's this beautiful sparkle in the air. It smells vaguely of the sea here, and everybody in this area seems to be aggressively ignoring your existence.
Thank God.
You know, that's okay.
This is where Sola's impulse and Z's impulse must fight.
No. No attention on us is good. Like, hey, we want you butting into our business. Why aren't you? Are you too good for us? It's like, no. Don't look the gift horse in the mouth.
This is not even fucking attention. It's just like, oh, you guys are gonna be assholes about this? Okay.
They are, in fact, being assholes about this.
Who the fuck cares?
Sola's not going to do anything. Z desperately wants to do something.
Amy is stopping Z from doing the stupid thing. Jesus Christ.
So, you set Dave to seeking?
Yeah, in the area.
Alright. Let me pop open the Dave sheet here.
My baby. Precious.
I love that his name is fucking Dave.
Of course it is.
Alright.
John is going to be thoroughly unimpressed no matter what Dave finds.
John is lucky Dave is trained.
Dave is
So-
lucky Dave is trained.
So, you set Dave to seek, and you let him go. He flies up high into the sky, and for a little bit, he's just circling the house. But eventually, you do see him land, and you hear a caw that to you, Shay, says that he's found a person.
Where'd you land?
He landed toward the back of the house.
Like on the roof or in a tree?
In a tree in the courtyard.
Okay. So there's someone in the courtyard.
Or he can see somebody through a window.
Mm-hmm. So, person confirm. Well, Shay will relay this information. And recall Dave. He gets treats.
Dave accepts the treat, but strangely, he picks up the treat and doesn't eat it. He flies over to where John is and makes sure to eat it in eyeliner.
Oh no.
John
What are you
flaps.
teaching your son?
What?
John flaps his wings very angrily and mutters to you, Sola, I don't like the new guy, boss. I don't like him.
And Sola just kind of like watches this and kind of like scratches John's head and looks towards Shay, and looks towards Dave, and looks back towards Shay.
Dave. Fucking Shay is the. I feel like this is the feeling when like you send your kid to preschool and they're doing great. Uh-oh, phone call from the teacher.
They started a fight.
It's like, what the fuck are you doing? No, you don't do that.
Dave is still gobbling his treat as he looks to you. He's mid-gobble. He makes eye contact.
Disappointment.
Concerned look.
Just disappointment. Disappointment is real.
He takes off again, and he does a loop-de-loop in front of you, and then he looks at you expectantly.
She crosses her arms.
He does another loop-de-loop.
No. Mm-mm.
He takes off again, dives, flies high into the air, and then does a sick dive.
That's pretty fucking cool, but Shay's holding strong. She's holding strong, damn it. She's got willpower. It does take a good chunk of the willpower, though.
Dave is just looking at you in complete confusion. You've never seen this look on his face.
She spoiled him too much, is what's happened.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. She turns to look at Sola.
Sola just shakes her head slightly. It's like, yet he did not offend me. Maybe John.
It offended me!
Sola, like halfway through a word, just mouth closes and there's a nod. And then just hand covering John, kind of pushing him a little bit.
He gets the message and pipes down.
Very lucky that Jean is not capable of magic. Oh, I think if anything will encourage him to somehow magically somehow learn some magic. It's my 3ds.
Turns to look at Dave. Looks back at Sola. Holds an arm out for Dave to land on. Looks at Sola again. As long as he doesn't hurt him? Yeah?
Looks at John.
Dave lands on your outstretched arm, but he's faffing his wings in a very confused fashion, as if he's not sure if the arm will stay out. He's doing the bird equivalent of, you didn't respond to my text immediately. Do you hate me now?
No, arm stays out. But he's not getting any more treats.
He's very crestfallen about this.
Time to work. And also, learning humility, Dave.
Okay, but have you met his parents?
Being humble is very important.
To one of you.
Yeah, the one he's with. Anyway,
John's over there on fucking Sola's shoulder, trying desperately to figure out how to channel just enough magic for a roast chicken.
Oh, he's fuming. He's fuming. You can feel it, Sola. He's fuming.
Jay will put one hand on top of Dave's head and turn to John. Sorry about that.
He looks to you, squinting. Well, I appreciate it, but it's him I want to hear it from.
He can't talk.
I don't believe that.
John,
Opens her
Dave
mouth,
just
closes
looks
her
at him.
mouth. Just like, well,
John, don't start fights. She gives you food.
I'm not mad at her. It's him.
can we move on? Just can't. He can't talk, so can't. You know? Anyway, found something in the back, so either the courtyard or the back of the house.
Cabin. There's also a cabin.
There's a cabin.
Mhm.
Bet.
It's like a shed. Really, shed is more the word.
Never mind.
Sorry. I'm sorry to disappoint you.
My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined. Anyway,
There's somebody to be concerned about it.
yep.
Sola just kind of looks between the three of them. So, do we want to just knock on the door and see if somebody answers, or are we trying to sneak in?
Probably just knock on it.
I might be being a little paranoid,
Mm-hmm.
but I know Mez was looking for foot trap and stuff, but there's no like weird traps or anything at any of the entrance. Anything
I mean,
sus like that?
you can make a perception check on the door specifically if you want.
I don't know. It's boarded up, but there's someone in there. It's just nervous.
Is that a perception check
So-
for everybody?
Yes, it would be a perception check for everybody.
I think Mez was while the birdies were having a little spat. Mez was inspecting the door, like,
That was a 26 on Sola.
That's a.
Sight.
What'd you say?
Sight, not sniffers.
It's sight. It's not scent based.
No, I know. I just got a nat 20
Oh shit.
for a 30.
Okay. Alright, so Maz, you're studying it. If there are traps here, you can't really figure out how they would work. This door seems fairly standard. You've seen a lot of these. You've made a lot of these or participated in the making of a lot of these. There's nothing that stands out to you. Sola, you also take a look at the door, and nothing stands out to you either. There's one thing that stands out a little, in that it's extremely quiet on the other end of the door. If there was somebody in the house, you would expect to hear something. The distant creak of wood, perhaps, or maybe something being moved about beyond the door. You don't get any of that. Shay, though, as you examine the door, you can see that there's two figures standing in the living room. You can't figure out who they are, but they're standing stock still. Like mannequins.
Does she pick up any scents with big sniffums?
Go ahead and make me a sniffums check.
Sniffums check coming up. Do I get to apply any of my bullshit?
No, I don't think you do.
Rip. If you get 10 plus 12 for 22. Does this count as tracking?
No.
Okay, so yeah, 22.
For 22, something strange happens here. You don't smell anything. Nothing. Usually with any person, even the most well-washed, you get something. A faint whiff of their sweat or something of the sort. There's nothing here. It's, to your nose, no one is standing in that room.
I imagine as you're looking around, Shay spots something like, I don't know, a shadow or something, and she stiffens for a second. Her nose twitches, and then her eyebrows just furrow in confusion. She's gonna just tap Sola on the arm, make a little sound to get Mesme's attention. Probably just take a couple steps away from the door, just in case. Sal! Shit's fucking weird. Saw 2 people-shaped things still in the living room, but don't smell them. No scent at all, which not normal. So, nose saying it's empty, eyes saying something, but still, like statues?
You sure it's not, I don't know, dust or something?
Dust
Yeah.
itself has a smell, you would have known.
She nods, like, yeah. Shit's weird. There's human-shaped, stock-still things, but no people scent. So,
Perhaps it is only thinking.
oh,
Well,
Yeah.
things and statues tend to be in the wealthier states.
probably. Anyway, oh, I'm knocking then.
But
Any objection to the knock,
Nope.
Iris?
I said shrug.
Oh, shrug.
Yeah, that was in character, sorry.
No, I just heard ugh.
Oh.
Alright, well, knock, knock, knock.
You knock on the door, and immediately, almost as if somebody had been waiting for it, the door swings open,
The fuck?
and you hear a familiar voice and see 2 familiar faces on the other side. Ah! My lovely friends, I knew you would come to see me. Aisha, do we have enough dinner prepared for guests?
Wait,
Huh?
It's Alder and
Wait,
and Aisha Foxglove.
can we close the door?
Reach and slam it in their face.
Can she close the door?
The fuck is this?
Serious question, Kira.
What the fuck is this indeed? Is a question we will answer next time on Rise of the Runelords.
I would like it on record that Shay did close the door, though.
He yoinked it out of his hand.
Open the door.
We will start next time with the townhouse crew, and go through that, and then touch back in with our other two. So, if the townhouse session ends up taking most of that time, then I will find Matt and Charlie for solos, which I imagine will not be difficult considering that I live with them. Does that sound okay to you guys?
Yeah, if you have an issue finding them for solos, then there's some other issues going on.
I have to file a report.
I might hide inside the walls.
There's
No.
the walls are very thin, Matt.
Don't go to the back
So
rooms.
am I.
But does that sound all right for a plan, Matt, Charlie?
Yep.
All right, Charles.
With also the note of Amy in the session. Fucking Charles and Cody need to talk.
Yes. Do note that down.
Alright, hold on. I didn't write down what the last bit that happened, so knocks on doors immediately opens.
Awesome. Thank you for watching, Jedi. Bye bye.
Yeah, thanks for watching, Jedi.
Thank you, Jedi.